Jeff Barnes back here again. Today we're going to talk about a phase 4 business, all right? Now, in previous videos, I've talked about the 4 phases for an entrepreneur to get to freedom, right? And these align with the 4 phases of business growth, okay? Phase 1, we talked about the theory of constraint, where you had an abundance of capacity and time and ability to deliver and do all this stuff, but you didn't have any leads coming in. So you didn't have any sales. That's why you had this extra capacity. Phase 2, you started getting leads coming in the door, but you didn't have a sales team in place or a sales process in place. So all these leads are coming in, but it's not really turning into money yet, right? So you still have a lot of capacity in the operations piece, but you're getting a lot more leads and you're constrained to sales, okay? Phase 3, you finally figured out the sales piece, you're getting the marketing in, you're getting the leads, you're getting the sales, but now your operational capacity needs to expand because you need to keep up with this demand. This is always the sales teeter-totter, as I call it, right? The sales and operations teeter-totter, they're always going up and down, right? When sales goes up, your operations might lag behind a little bit, so you need to catch your operations up. And then you generally overstaff, or you do something that gives you a little bit more capacity, so then your sales goes up. So you're constantly doing this thing. It's like a ladder, right? And so in a phase 4 business, this is where you achieve the most value for your company. This is where your business is finally going to be valuable to somebody else. Somebody else is going to come in and want to buy it. Somebody else will give you a lot of money for it. And it's not easy to achieve. And that's why people that are buying businesses like me come in and look for these types of businesses. This is where we've looked at the theory of constraints. We've figured out what the constraints are in our business, and we've exploited every constraint we can, and we've expanded the capability and capacity of our company. So a phase 4 business, now we've figured out the marketing. We have a lot of money to throw at advertising. We are doing events. We're doing social media. We're doing pay-per-click. We're doing direct mail. We're doing magazines. We're doing as many different advertising campaigns as we possibly can to bring people in the door. And then we are qualifying those people through a process, right? Whatever that process is in your business, and it's different for all of them. And now we have a sales process that allows us to convert leads into paying customers. And now the coup de grace is that we have finally figured out the operations. We have people coming in, we have people paying, we have people getting their product or getting their service. They're happy about it. Your books are maintained, your taxes are paid, your payroll's getting met every single time, and you're making a little bit of money. And you finally figured out what it takes to scale a business. Every single time you increase your advertising, you want to see what your sales volume is going to be. You want to make sure that your sales do not fall off a cliff. You want to make sure that your sales kind of keep track with that advertising, right? So if I'm spending, let's just say I spend $1,000 in one day, and that $1,000 turns into $5,000 worth of sales. Well, if the next day I spend $2,000 and that only turns into $6,000 worth of sales, now I have a pretty good indication, okay, sales is a constraint right here. And we already know that this other, spending $1,000 a day is making me $5,000 a day. I'm really happy about that. But why, when I increase this, does my sales not increase? That's when you start finding what that constraint is. Or then you start looking at how long does it take the product to get delivered? How long does it take for the customer to get their product or their service? And if you spend $1,000 a day and you make $5,000 and the customers are all happy and you're getting 5-star reviews, that's great. All of a sudden you go to $2,000 a day and geez, now you went from 5,000 to 10,000 because you figured out that sales constraint issue. But now I'm not getting the customers their product or service in time. And we're starting to get a few more refunds, and we're starting to get a few more chargebacks, and chargebacks are the worst. You don't want those. But you start getting a few refunds here and there, and your reviews are now no longer 5-star. Now they're 4.8. Well, a smart business owner goes, what's happening? Why is that happening? Why are we not getting the product to our customers fast enough? Why are our customers not happy and overjoyed with what we're doing for them? What's the issue here? And they'll look at that and they'll figure that out. And in the meantime, while they're figuring this out, they're going to back the advertising off a little bit. Here's the problem. No one wants to do that, right? Once the advertising is going, once it's all working, they don't want to back it off because hey, look, we're getting sales, we're getting money in the door. Why would we back this off? And the problem is that if they are not paying attention, the operational piece, they will struggle. Okay, I mentioned this a few times now. So the way that you increase the value of your company.
Before continuing, please subscribe and share this video to help us reach more people and stay notified of our latest releases. Now, let's continue watching.
The way that you build yourself a brand that people can trust and people can rely on and people want to have a relationship with is by getting all 3 of these parts aligned. This is called your sales, marketing, and operations alignment. Okay. So this is a phase 4 business. And in a phase 4 business, you finally have marketing, sales, and operations fully aligned. Everything is going along smoothly. And this is what I call an AOL business. No, not like the internet company that, we had 1,000 hours of free internet. For those of you that don't remember that, just makes me feel old. That's okay. An AOL business means you're an architect, an owner, and a leader. Okay. Architect, owner, leader. An architect is required before a house gets built, right? If you want a house that's going to last 100 years or 1,000 years like the castles, you need somebody that's going to draw up a plan that knows what it is that's needed to make sure this thing lasts. That's what you need to be as a business owner. You need to be that architect, that person who is saying, okay, what should the marketing process look like? What should the sales process look like? What does the operation piece look like? If you can figure that out, then you become the architect. Okay. When you get to a phase 4 business, you've architected everything out and it's all working, right? It's like the architect taking the blueprint and handing off to the contractor. Now the contractor does their thing and they go build the house, the building, the whatever, right? Now you're the owner because you don't have to run the process. You have the assembly line doing its thing, right? The customers come in, they buy, they pay, your team goes to work, they do their thing. Everybody's happy. You're now the owner. And lastly, what's most important is that you're the leader. You get to lead the business. You get to now set the direction and the tone and the vision. This is where being the chairperson really comes in. You do not have to run the day-to-day anymore. You get to just be there and be the inspiration, the motivation to keep your company going and growing. You get to be the person who looks at it and says, okay, we're here today. Where can we be a year from now? Where can we be 5 years from now? And now you get to do the fun stuff, which is the strategic planning. So that's the goal, right? That is the goal of any business. Is you're not doing this just because you want to make a few bucks here and there. You're doing this because you want to grow a company that is going to scale, that's going to make money in spite of you sometimes, right? And you want a company that is valuable. I don't look at any business and want to work with any business that I don't feel like I can add value to and create more value from. So when we look at companies, we're generally looking to partner with them in some way, because I know when I work with a business, when I work with a company, when I work with the CEO or founders or an executive team, we can improve the overall value of the business by going through this process. And by doing so, maybe the business was worth $1 million today. In 5 years, it could be worth $10 million or even $100 million, right? That's what we want to do. And if you look at a lot of valuation software out there, and I know because I've used a lot of them, and you work with valuation companies, they're only going to look at the business as it is today and find out what costs they can cut to increase the value of the business. That's not what I want to do. I want you to look at this entire process of phase 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay. You're going through these phases and you're identifying the constraints. And the way you get to $1 billion company is you do it over and over and over again. Just because you've gotten to phase 4 does not mean that you stop, right? You go back and you say, okay, I want to go back to phase 1 again. And I've got operational capacity at this. Let's just say it's 1,000 widgets a day. Now I want to say I'm a phase 1 business. Let's blow the roof off of our marketing and advertising. Let's beef up our sales team and let's increase that capacity. Now you're just faster at it, right? It doesn't take you a year or 2 years to do it. Now it might take you a month to figure it out because you know all the levers to pull. And that's what's really fun about growing a business, is that you now finally get to sit back, be the architect, be the owner, and be the leader, and watch your baby grow. So I hope that was really helpful for you. I hope you appreciate this and you can understand this. And I hope that you're able to implement this on some level. And if you need help, of course, come over to Digital Evolution Marketing Group, DEMG.io. We'll be happy to help.